On to the first monster of the 30k D&D Creator Monster Contest, and that is the Lib Trucker. I'm getting some Paladin vibes from you, as well as just being very down-to-earth, tough, and gritty. That was my inspiration for your monster, the Boulder Templar. Alright, Lib Trucker, here's your stats. Pause to read. The Boulder Templar is a lawful elemental with great armor, hit points, and an obscene amount of constitution. His rocky exterior makes it so he's immune to being grappled, restrained, or stunned. His unique earthen armor means he's only going to be damaged with adamantine weapons. True to his earthy nature, he's got Earth Glide, Stone Camouflage, as well as Earthen Resistance, meaning he has advantage on saving throws against poisons, spells, illusions, as well as to resist being charmed or paralyzed. He's got a multi-attack with his Passive Fist, as well as his Headbutt, which can stun his opponents. But his ultimate ability is his Stone of Truth. True to its name, it causes bludgeon and psychic damage, as well as the effects of a Zone of Truth spell. This guy looks like he gives great bear hugs. On to the second winner of the 30k D&D Creator Monster Contest, and that is Bleary Fitz. I get a little bit of a notion that you're insightful, airy, and very lighthearted, so I wanted to put you high up in the sky with your monster, the Jet Streamer. Alright, Bleary Fitz, here's your stats. Pause to read. The Jet Streamer is a large, lawful neutral bird of prey that spends most of its entire life in the skies. It's got an incredible amount of dexterity as well as good stats across the board. Of course, he's going to be immune to lightning damage because he rules the skies. It's got magic resistance as well as a traveling storm cloud. Think of it as a mobile AoE that does lightning damage. He's going to be doing all of his damage up front with his kicks and his wings. His long legs are going to be doing a lot of slashing damage up front. His wing attack is so powerful it causes bludgeon damage as well as a chance to knock his enemies prone. And every 6 turns he can use his Lightning Blast. It's a 60-foot line that causes massive amounts of electrical damage. This Aarakocra looks like he's auditioning for Blue Man Group, but that's pretty solid. I'm gonna have to go fast for this third winner of my 30k D&D Creator Monster Contest, and that is Eldritch Author. Your characteristics are obvious. You're dark, sinister, charismatic, and all-powerful. You're one of my first creations who has 2 forms, a human form, and your final form. You are the Eldritch Author. Alright, here's your legendary stat block. Pause to read. The Eldritch Author is a gargantuan lawful evil with huge AC, hit points, and stats across the board. Ridiculous amount of resistances and immunities to different kinds of conditions and damages. You have Death Burst, which means you explode when you die. Mind-altering aura is similar to Frightful Presence, but you can choose whether things are charmed or afraid of you. You're going to be doing damage with your claw attacks as well as your Dark Charge, which is a 90-foot-long laser beam of necrotic damage. Of course, you're going to be able to summon your Darklings to your side as well. Your legendary actions are another claw attack, your Dark Rupture, which is an AoE to knock your enemies prone, as well as your Abyssal Firestorm. Basically, it's a level 9 meteor spell. Whatever you do, do not make Hugh angry. Finally, on to the fourth winner of the 30k D&D Creator Monster Contest, and that is Arcane Anthems. You're an intelligent bard who I believe would use his fame and privilege in order to be a spy. Because there's more to life than being really ridiculously good-looking, you are the Arcane Pop Singer. Alright, Anthems, here's your stat block. Pause to read. The Arcane Pop Singer is a medium-sized humanoid with good charisma and decent stats across the board. You're resistant to psychic and thunder damage for being on stage all those years. You are brave, lucky, and have a long list of spells for utility and damage. His spells are dialed in towards stealth, getting away, dealing with guards, or stealing away treasures and secrets. He doesn't really like to get his hands dirty, but he does have a hidden rapier inside of his microphone. 3 times per day he can let out a magic-infused vocal note called the Crowd Pleaser. It's basically like a boosted Thunderwave spell. And his ultimate ability is called Fan Favorite. He can draw on the attention of the nearby commoners to form a mob. What he does with that mob is up to you. Getting some serious boy. Sorry this has taken over a week to post, but this is the 5th and final winner of the 30k D&D Creator Monster Contest, and that is Whipjack. What I get from you is you are very powerful and fiery. And that led to the fierce and fiery inspiration for you, the Jack Whip. Yeah, no, not too creative on the name, but here's your stats. Pause to read. The Jack Whip is a large and very fiery elemental with good AC, hit points, and strength. You got several different damage resistances as well as fire absorption. You burn with such intensity that you have a heated body and heated weapons, meaning anything that touches you or you touch is going to take fire damage. Of course, you're going to have a little bit of magic, all of which are going to be fire-themed, but you're going to be doing a lot of your damage up front with your multi-attack and your Ember-Torn daggers. You're going to be doing piercing and fire damage. And last of which, your ultimate ability is your Firebrand. It's a 60-foot teleport spell that does damage where you came from and where you land, as well as marking your enemies. Yeah, this one definitely seems to fit. Let's get to the first winner of the 35k D&D Creator Monster Contest, and that is RPG Mom.
I'm definitely sensing you're a very wise, nature-esque spellcaster who's very caring as well as a little bit of a trickster. And that was my inspiration for your druidic fae creature, the Grove Matron. The Grove Matron is a medium fae creature with great wisdom and intelligence and is a caretaker of the forest and spirits. She's got fae ancestry as well as the ability to sense magic up to 120 feet. She's a 14th level spellcaster with a good mix of healing, utility, illusion, as well as damage-dealing spells. Very unique ability, she's an item user, which means she's going to have an assortment of potions and ion stones that she can use as an action. Now, she can do a little bit of upfront damage with a multi-attack on her quarterstaff, but her unique ability is her fireflies. She can mentally command a small swarm of fireflies to do fire and piercing damage to her enemies. I think her and the Barbarian would make a pretty good couple, don't you think?
And now the second winner of the 35K D&D Creator Monster Contest, and that is MishaKent. You possess an intelligence and a craftiness that's hard to pin. But judging from your content, you say you're not too keen on spellcasters, so that was my inspiration for this. I think you'd be down to run your own underground rogue crime organization, making you the DMZombie crime boss. Alright, MishaKent, here's your stats. The DMZombie crime boss is a cunning and tough were-rat who's up to no good. He's highly evasive and he's going to be using pack tactics. Because you know darn well he's not going to be fighting alone, he's going to have his posse with him. He always has access to the best poisons, which mean his short swords are going to cause poison damage. He's also a huge cheater, meaning he's going to have advantage anytime he plays any kind of game with cards or dice. He also has a magical ranged attack called the Vile Crossbow. He's going to be dealing some good necrotic damage. Even though he doesn't have an ability where he summons allies to his side, you know he's going to be coming to the fight with his gang. Oh look, he rolled at disadvantage. We're on to the third winner of the 35K D&D Creator Monster Contest, and that is DMZombie. I would not want you to relive your trauma of being a runaway Volstrucker, but there is no denying that you are a powerful wizard and an assassin. So therefore, you are the powerful Wizlock. Alright, DMZombie, here's your stats. Pause to read. The Wizlock is a deadly spellcaster assassin with a good mixture of wizard and warlock spells. It has permanent mage armor, high intelligence, and good durability. It's brutally tough with resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage as well as damage from spells. It knows 6 different languages including the Thieves' Cants, as well as magic resistance and dark devotion. And you do not want to be on the receiving end of this spell list because it's all about dealing high damage to a singular target. Of course, he can do some melee damage with his Hack's Blade, which causes psychic damage and has a chance to paralyze the target, or his ultimate ability, his Siphoning Strike, which has a chance to steal some life as well as regain a spell slot. And how'd I guess you were into purple? The fourth winner of the 35K D&D Creator Monster Contest is a longtime fan favorite of mine, Heavy Metal Game Master. Okay, clearly you're going to be bringing all the metal, all the badass spells, and all the rage. You are a heavy metal death knight like no other. You are Metallum Draconis. Also Mordekaiser from League of Legends. Alright, HMGM, here's your stat block. Pause to read. Metallum Draconis is a heavy metal and very tanky death knight who's bringing all the metal and carnage to the battlefield. He's got great strength, constitution, as well as several immunities and resistances. His attacks are going to be absolutely savage and do extra damage on critical hits. You're not going to want to touch this construct because he's got blade armor, meaning you're going to take damage with every melee attack. He has a surprising number of damage-dealing spells for a tanky dreadnought. He's going to be mowing through enemies with style with his Great Axe guitar, and his ultimate ability, the Metal of the Abyss. He lets out an infernal rift that causes necrotic damage, paralysis, and fear. Yes, you get the guitar solo. I apologize for the delay in this, but we're on to our last winner of the 35K D&D Creator Monster Contest, and that is the DMWolf. My take from your content is that you are tough, inspiring, and supportive, and also you got big-time cleric vibes. Take all that and roll it into a monster, and you have Dapper, the Battle Cleric. Let's try this first so people can see. Pause to read. Dapper, the Battle Cleric is a very tanky character who's got great constitution and wisdom. He's got a couple different kinds of damage resistances as well as magic resistance overall. He can cast a fairly powerful healing touch 3 times a day as well as his innate spellcasting. And his spell list includes a couple of damage dealing spells as well as some supportive ones. He's going to be coming into battle with a mace and his shield. His mace is a special one. It's called the Fey Fall Mace, which does radiant damage as well as additional damage to any Fey creatures. And last of all, he's got a cool CC ability, his Shield Bash. It's going to deal a little bit of upfront damage as well as knocking the enemy prone. That entire leisure suit looks like it's made out of carbon fiber. On to the first winner of the 37K D&D Artisan Creator Contest, and that is Panchi Artista. What I get from your page is you are very whimsical, colorful, and flighty. And that was the inspiration for your creative and powerful monster, the ChromaDragon. Alright, here's your stats, hopefully a little bit easier to read. Pause to read. The young ChromaDragon is a large and very artistic dragon with good strength, constitution, and charisma. It's got chroma camouflage, meaning it can change the color and texture of its skin to blend in like a chameleon. One of its most unique abilities is its painted reality, which it can only do once per day. It can paint an illusion spell with its tail that's either medium or large in size that becomes real for 5 minutes. Of course, every good dragon's gonna have its basic claw and bite attacks, but the ChromaDragon has its prismatic breath. Its breath attack does the exact same thing as a prismatic spray spell. Can't you keep doing what you're doing amazing things. On to the second winner of the 37K D&D Artisan Creator Contest, and that is Wolfpack Dice. I'm getting strong Celtic and Viking vibes from you, and obviously a love of wolves. Man after my own heart. So I made you your very own werewolf, brother. You are the Lycan Spirit Fang. Alright, here's your stats. Pause to read. The Lycan Spirit Fang is a medium werewolf with decent stats across the board. He's gonna have resistance to cold damage as well as non-magical damage. Can't be a good werewolf without being a shape changer as well as having keen hearing and smell. The Spirit Fangs are definitely the magic casters of the tribe, which is why they have spiritual foresight, meaning he's not gonna be fooled by illusions as well as being resistant to charmed or paralyzed. Being the spellcasters in the tribe, meaning he has to have an assortment of damage dealing as well as supportive spells. And for his combat, well, he's gonna be pretty much sticking to his Lycan roots. He's gonna be changing forms and dealing all kinds of melee damage. Alright man, you've waited a long time for this, hope you enjoy it, congrats. We're at the third winner of the 37K D&D Artisan Contest, and that is Agony Prime. Yours was pretty difficult because not much of your content actually shows you, but I took a couple of hints from some rock music and some edginess. And that was the inspiration for your monster, the Agony Primark. Alright, here's your stats, pause to read. The Agony Primark is a huge, brutal, and tanky fiend with great strength, constitution, and charisma. He's got a high AC, huge hit points, and magic resistance. He's a being of pure agony, meaning every creature around him's gonna take fire damage. He's got a multi-attack with his Demon Spire longsword as well as his Negaton Blast. He carries around a massive longsword made out of the spine of a demon, and it's gonna cause triple the damage if he lands a critical hit. He also has his Negaton Blast, which he shoots out of his torso, that causes fire and necrotic damage. His ultimate ability is Summon Demon. He channels his energy and he can summon a massive horde of demons to his side. He looks like he goes to a lot of glowstick raves. On to the fourth winner of the 37K D&D Artisan Creator Contest, and that is Dice Deli. Hit up that Etsy shop. Again, not too much of your content actually showed you, but the little bit that did, I got sagely, wise, and fierce. And that was the inspiration for your spiritual guardian, Wapiti of the Horn. Alright, here's your stats. Pause to read. Wapiti of the Horns is a medium fae and spiritual guardian with good armor class, dexterity, as well as wisdom. She has several different kinds of damage resistances, along with fae ancestry, force camouflage, magic weapons, and is reactive. She's got a short list of spells, mostly for damage and utility purposes. She's going to be leaping into battle with her multi-attack with her Wirewood Spear. Not too heavy on the melee damage, but again, remember she's reactive, so she can use it at the end of every single player's turn. She has long-range teleport spell as well as her ultimate ability, Stampede. She can summon a huge line of astral elk to trample her enemies, causing massive damage. Bambi's mom would be proud of her. On to the fifth and final winner of our 37 D&D Creator Artisan Contest, and that is Skullbomb Creations. Go ahead and hit up that Etsy shop. Your content screams fierce, fiery, a little bit edgy, and a little bit twisted. I was immediately reminded of another popular character, and that was the inspiration for your character, the Cherry Skullbomb. Bonus points if you know Hotel Has Been, go watch it. Alright, here's your stats, pause to read. The Cherry Skullbomb is a tough, medium-sized fiend with good AC, hit points, dexterity, and charisma. She's highly maneuverable all across the battlefield, so she's got cunning action, meaning her weapons attacks are going to cause an extra 2d8 fire damage. She's going to be attacking multiple times per round using her Swift Boot, Spike Whip, and Skull Bomb. Her Swift Boot can knock enemies backwards as well as prone. Her Spike Whip is good for medium-range slashing and fire damage, as well as her Skull Bomb, which is a medium-ranged fireball. Oh, and she's also going to be very hard to hit with her Blazing Rebuke, which parries an enemy attack and causes fire damage. If you haven't seen Hotel Has Been, go check it out.
I like your funny words, Magic Man.